Hey, we are with part 3 of Lesson 11, Classroom in a Book, Adobe Illustrator. And we are using pattern brushes. So we're on the pattern brushes header. Remember, the textbooks have different page numbers, so I'm not able to pull them out without confusing everybody. So pattern brushes, so we're going to go into our brush panel and go to Show Pattern, Hide Bristle. And you notice if I do that, it makes a pattern to draw from. Pretty cool. So we're going to do our selection tool, keyboard shortcut V, and go back to our ship. And we're going to shift click both of these black lines. And we are going to apply the window pattern brush. Now you can also do it from the control panel here, which is really cool. So we can do that, and as you can see, we have sort of windows applied. Pretty cool. So we're going to deselect and we're going to select the bottommost line, and we're going to kind of play with it a bit more. So in our brush panel, we're going to click this, which is options of selected object, and it opens up this box. And we're going to just increase the size to 110% because we do everything 110%. And keep everything normal and watch those windows. They increase in size, which looks pretty cool. So next, we're going to create a pattern brush because we want to create a pattern. So we're going to select, kind of slide over here, deselect everything. And we have these two objects here. So we're going to select this little rope pattern right here. And then we're going to click that we're going to go into thumbnail view. And we're going to click the new brush icon down to pattern brush. And we'll click OK. And there's a bunch of different options. So there's a lot of text you can read about pattern brushes in the pattern brush box. But we have these two little changes, the adjustments. And so let's click on the side tile, change to Pompadour, and see how it changes, how it tiles the brush. Pretty different. We'll just kind of set it back to original. And then let's click on the outer corner. When you hover over, it will tell you what's going on. There's different, we're auto center, auto overlap, auto slice, auto between. So there's different ways of how the pattern works. And we're going to choose auto between. And make sure that is selected. And we'll just rename it to border. And there you go. We have a border brush there in our panel. So we're going to click on this white line. And we're going to apply a pattern brush. So we're going to just click on it. And as you can see, we have this kind of rope look. It's got some texture. It's pretty cool. And while it's selected, you should probably make sure that stroke is none too. Well, it works when... There we go. It works. So next we're going to edit the pattern brush. So in our swatch panel, we're going to pull up the color swatch panel right here from our box. If not, you can go up to Window, Swatches. And we're going to click on this Life Preserver. And you're just going to click and drag it in here. And you see my cursor has a plus sign because it wants to place it in. And now we have a color that's a life sliver. It's a pattern swatch. Now we have a color that's a life sliver. It's a pattern swatch. We're going to deselect. And then in the swatches panel, you're going to double click, and it's patterns. And we've already worked with patterns before. This is nothing new to us. So we're just going to rename it to corner. And down here for copies, we'll just do 1 by 1. And that's just at the bottom. And when you're done, remember you have to confirm with done, that check mark with done, and it's, well, done. And you can see we can click here, paste there, and it has a different look to it. And we can do an undo. So the next thing to do is we're going to edit that pattern brush again. So we're going to go to our brush pattern, select it. Here, this outline, select the outline. Click on the option of selected object. Oh, no. Oh, wait, we need to double click that. And then in the outer corner, corner is there. So we're going to select that right there. And it's pretty big. So in the pattern brush options, we're going to change that scale to 70 and click OK. So up here, remember we did everything 110%, now we do it 70%. And it just changes the sky size. And we'll click OK. And this will say something, so we'll just apply the strokes, and it kind of, now we have our life preservers as corners, which looks really cool. It adds some different element. Now if we select this guy, you notice there's no corners. It's because I can't do it. Click undo. And I think that's it for the pattern brush. So the next and last part really is the drawing with the blob brush. The blob brush is so cool. It's my favorite. So with regular brushes, you're creating strokes, you're creating outlines. With blob brushes, you're creating whole shapes. So we're going to pull up our layers panel, and we are going to hide the ship. And we're going to make sure everything's hidden. We're going to make sure our fill color is this light blue. And we have no stroke. And we're going to draw with a blob brush. So your blob brush is in your tools panel, nested under your regular brush, or keyboard shortcut Shift B. Click on that. And we're going to double click it in the tools panel, open up this dialog box. We're going to make sure keep select is checked, merge only with selection is unchecked. We're going to change the size from 1 point to 70 points. And everything else looks good. And we'll click OK. And with our blob brush tool, we need to we're going to select on the layer that is on OK. Make sure we're on our blob brush. And we're going to draw a cloud shape. We have a nice cloud shape. Looks really cool. And you notice we did it with the brush tool, and we're creating a shape. This is in strokes, it's in outlines, it's a shape. What you can do is merge paths. So let's say I want to merge things together and I don't want to, if they're the same color, they'll merge. So we're going to draw some lines between these two clouds, and they're going to become one large object. And now it's one nice big object, which is really cool. Definitely play around with the blob brush. You can add different parts to make it look more cloud-like. The next thing you do is editing with the eraser tool. So your eraser tool is right under your blob brush. You're going to double click on that, and there's some options. We're going to change the size from 10 point to 40. Click OK. And we've used the eraser tool before, so it's nothing new, but you can erase points with your blob brush. Don't want to erase too much, I don't want my cloud to look weird. But yeah, so that's with erasing with your blob brush. So next is we're going to open all those layers, make sure everything's visible. We're going to click the main layer named mask at the top. So click this one up here. We're going to apply a clipping mask. Remember we did that before and it was a lot of issues. You're going to click on the clipping mask button and it kind of takes and cleans everything else up that's on the outside, which is nice. Kind of cleans that up so you don't have extra stuff on the outside. And then the next we're going to do is Object Show All. Get that type right in. Looks cool. Do a Command S to save. And then you will do a file export and you are done with lesson 11 and play on the brushes. So after this lesson, please play around with brushes more. That's something you may want to consider using for your logos. So let's do an export, JPEGs, use artboards. I always just do range 1, just in case. You'll turn this in for a grade, and awesome. So your next thing is you're going to do lesson 12 this week too. We have 2 lessons this week. So they'll be different, so I'll see you guys for lesson 12.